distinguished members of the maritime community, Excellencies, Admiral Allen, distinguished delegates. It's indeed a great honor for me to address on behalf of the Hellenic Coast Guard, the Hellenic American Maritime Forum 2019, and to interact among distinguished members of the international shipping community and also high-ranking Coast Guard officers. At the same time, I would like to warmly thank, on behalf of the Hellenic Coast Guard, the organizers of the Hellenic American Maritime Forum, taking place at the excellent premises and surroundings of the Megaron in Athens. This forum provides indeed an excellent opportunity to gather skillful maritime leaders in order to discuss industry-wide long-term challenges. We've just heard Mr. Tsavlidis providing with a couple of priorities in this respect. As Director General for Shipping at the Hellenic Coast Guard headquarters, I have under my direct responsibility domain, among other shipping-related functions of the Hellenic Coast Guard, of both policy and operational nature, including the development of the national shipping policy and respective representations within the context of the EU and IMO, the Hellenic Maritime Cluster and the in Greece established shipping companies, the Greek Register, as well as operational issues in the fields of safety, port state control, protection of the marine environment, seafarers training and labor, as well as domestic sea transportation. I was asked by the organizers to focus upon priorities in relation to the Coast Guard role in international compliance, and it's my intention to do so in the next 10-15 minutes or so. As always, allow me to start with the actual backbone of our action, the actual facts of the current shipping economic and business environment in Greece and in Europe at large, and in alignment with the famous phrase of the Norwegian ship owner and businessman Erling Næss, as quoted in Martin Stopford's textbook on maritime economics, and I quote, "God must have been a ship owner. He placed the raw materials far from where they were needed and covered 2/3 of the earth with water," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, as a traditional maritime nation, Greece attributes particular significance to shipping and consequently to ensuring its impeccable operation worldwide. Against this background and the belief that the sea and the related maritime activities constitute an inexhaustible source of growth and prosperity, the government took many decades ago the strategic decision to assign all matters relating to the shipping activities to a unique, dedicated ministry. Admiral Allen, allow me to underline that this year, the year 2019, the Hellenic Coast Guard celebrates the 100th year of its operation. Maritime transport is indeed, as already stated by a previous speaker, the backbone of world trade and globalization, and actually the most essential pillar of cross-border transport networks that support global supply chains. The above is of particular relevance, especially for Greece, as it's challenging in macroeconomic terms times. In return, shipping is one of the most important components of the Greek economy, contributing over 7% of the GDP in accordance with the last available data. It also provides direct employment, 192,000 people, both onshore and offshore. Moreover, according to the data available for 2018, it is estimated that foreign currency inflow from shipping has reached 16 billion euros, an increase of almost 15% compared to the previous year, 2017. Coming now to the EU level, the shipping industry is estimated to have directly contributed 56 billion euros to the EU GDP and employed more than 600,000 people. Taking all the impacts together, direct, indirect, and induced, the total GDP contribution of the EU shipping industry is estimated 147 billions. Moreover, it is estimated that for every 1 million euros the EU shipping industry contributes to the GDP itself, another 1.6 million is elsewhere generated in the EU economy. Coming now to some facts and figures which we considered of paramount importance and relevance. During the past years, adverse conditions threatened to undermine the prospects of a sustained recovery and a stable world economy, including debt problems, fiscal austerity, and obviously geopolitical instability. In times of economic downturn, investing in quality shipping and in new vessel types has been, in strategic terms, the preferred course of action for a good part of the Greek ship-owning community. A course followed consistently by Greek shipping, which despite insisting low charter rates in certain segments of the market worldwide, including both the dry and wet market, has indeed maintained its global leadership position. The Greek merchant fleet, and I'm referring to vessels above 1,000 GT, counts currently more than 670 vessels of total registered deadweight tonnage, close to 70 million deadweight tonnage, and is placed 7th on a global level with almost 4% of the world total. The quality of the Greek flag is globally recognized, including the very demanding in commercial terms and strict in technical standards US market. The registered fleet comprises both traditional, mainly bulk carriers and tankers, and high-tech LNG and LPG carriers, passenger vessels, and others. The average age of the Greek control fleet continues to be 11.2 years, which is more than 2.5 years below the average age of the world fleet, providing an additional competitive element. More importantly, in addition to the national fleet, Greek ship owners control a total number of more than 4,000 vessels of various categories, with a carrying capacity close to 340 million deadweight tonnage. The Greek control fleet is distributed among 33 different flags around the globe. Compared with the previous year's data, this represents an additional increase of 21 million deadweight tonnage. Focusing now on Europe, the fleet controlled by Greek interest is at a record high. Greek-owned fleet ranks first, accounting for close to 20% and 48% of the global and the EU deadweight tonnage respectively. Despite further tightening of various ship financing sources during the last years, new building orders by Greek interests amounted to 206 vessels over 1,000 GT, representing approximately 25 million deadweight tonnage from a total of 175 million deadweight tonnage by the end of 2017. The majority of these orders concern tankers, corresponding for this particular segment to almost 30% of world tonnage on order. Ladies and gentlemen, the Greek shipping cluster, which is of paramount relevance and importance, as already heard by previous speakers, is a successful bright spot in the Greek economy, The core of the cluster is composed of over 1,400 shipping companies, the majority of them in the field of ship management and the rest in the field of chartering, brokerage, and other shipping activities, mainly operated out of the wider area of Attica and especially the area of Paris. These companies offer direct employment to over 17,000 employees and constitute the driving force for the entire maritime cluster, employing directly and indirectly more than 190,000 people, a fact which is of paramount relevance and importance in these difficult times. Turning now to the role of IMO in shipping. The need for an international agency regulating maritime transport stems from the fact that shipping is perhaps the most international of all the world's global industries. In terms of shipping policy, and this is important to mention, Greece attaches great importance to the role of the concrete work of IMO in ensuring a level playing field through a uniform framework of agreed rules and regulations on matters related to safety of navigation, security, protection of the marine environment, and which is vital for the sustainability of the sector. To note that in the recent years there have been a lot of efforts in order to avoid this approach of IMO, and on the other hand, to have a series of unilateral measures in various regions worldwide. For Greece, allow me to indicate 4 issues of paramount relevance currently as far as the agenda of IMO is concerned, and I would start by the implementation of the IMO initial strategy on the reduction of greenhouse gases. Secondly, the consistent and smooth implementation of the new 0.5% sulfur limit from January 2020 in a way that will guarantee both the availability and adequacy of the safe and compliant fuels. Third, the digitalization and automation of shipping, which introduces a new dynamic for the shipping industry, both for the operators as well as for the administrations. And finally, an issue of paramount relevance, the protection of vital shipping lanes, particularly from the threats of piracy and armed robbery. In line with the above shipping policy objectives, the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Insular Policy invests in the Greek human element regarding Greek seafarers by promoting their education and training standards. The lack of properly qualified, especially officers, for the years and decades to come is a factor of paramount relevance, a challenge for the well-functioning of the global industry. In this respect, Greece has developed a unique training network of merchant marine academies which are spread throughout the Greek territory and which support more than 10 academies for masters and 4 academies for engine officers. Allow me now to move on to the priority assigned to the and the relevance of the IMO. As a member of the Category A of the IMO Council and a traditionally strong supporter of organizations' work, mission and objective, we have every good reason and interest to exert every effort pursuing the most effective operation of the organization. In this respect, we acknowledge the ongoing deliberations vis-à-vis the Council reform, which constitute a top priority issue not only for the IMO Council members, but for the whole organization at large. As it is already known, 2019 is a very important year for IMO, since we have, among other events, the election for the Council members for the forthcoming biennium 2020 to 2021. Greece, and the same is true for the US, are members of Category A of the IMO Council, and Greece has already provided its candidature for the coming 2 years, which we will strongly support for reasons related to the priority assigned to the IMO work. On the slide you see indeed the MEPC session, which was held a couple of days ago. We've heard a lot of priorities related to the MEPC and the approach to be taken towards these challenges, so I will skip a couple of transparencies. The actual outcome of the IMO MEPC, on which has been heavily debated within and also on a bilateral basis. But I would like to stress some issues related to the other major issue relating to the implementation of the 2020 sulfur cap. MEPC 74 indeed approved and adopted a comprehensive set of guidance and guidelines to support the consistent implementation of the 0.5 limit on sulfur in ships' fuel oil, which will enter into effect from January 2020. Greece has also contributed via a written submission, and for us, I will try to focus, to put in a nutshell, 2 priorities. The first is related to the availability of fuel on a worldwide level due to the cross-trading character of the Greek fleet. And the second is related to the safety characteristics of this fuel, which should be on the appropriate level for the whole industry. I understand that we have limited time, so I will skip some transparencies related to the challenges and priorities at EU level. This transparency, we're focusing on the port state control activities of Greece, on which we are proud because we are at the first level within the European Union context, and obviously we are also included in the respective whitelists. Let's continue and eventually conclude with the already indicated close ties between the US and Greece in the bilateral maritime cooperation framework. It is a time of transformations where the geopolitical landscape is undergoing continuous change. And Greek shipping has proven to be a reliable trading partner, able to cover a significant part of the world's transport needs in terms of energy and raw materials. This is further confirmed in the most emphatic way through the existing mutually beneficial and productive shipping relations between the US and Greece, based on Greek shipping services to the support of the US external trade. Providing a significant number of maritime agreements with third countries, Greece emerges as a major shipping partner, investing in maritime diplomacy. At the core of this policy lies the commitment to the established principle of liberalization of maritime transport services within the context of WTO and GATS. It's a long-standing position of Greece that unilateral measures and maritime trade restrictions do not pay a good service to shipping, undermining its position to serve world trade in a safe, energy-efficient, and cost-effective mode of transport. In addition, the Greek shipping has served efficiently the U.S. maritime transportation needs for many decades. This has enabled what we would call a strategic relation between the two countries in maritime affairs and a solid foundation for the future of U.S.-Greek maritime cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, over the years the Hellenic American Maritime Forum has been indeed an important maritime forum, highlighting the maritime bonds of our country with the U.S. through the ages. This is a fact which lays the foundations for further enhancing this well-established cooperation. At this point, allow me to thank again the organizers for providing me the opportunity to share our thoughts on major maritime and shipping-related issues, and also the participants for your kind attention. On behalf of the Hellenic Coast Guard, I would like to express our warmest appreciation to Admiral Agis, the former Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, and internationally recognized as one of the most efficient and successful maritime leaders during his more than 40-year service at the U.S. Coast Guard and his tenure as Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, and looking towards to participate at the award ceremony to his honor later this evening. With these words, on behalf of the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and the Hellenic Coast Guard, I would like to express our sincere wishes for fruitful deliberations and useful results from today's forum. Thank you very much.